I'm here to talk to you today about the best thing to happen to the food industry since sliced bread, the Mangalitsa pig. It has the most succulent meat you've ever tasted. It has the most intramuscular marbling, and for pork producers that are willing to raise it on pasture, you can command premium prices that are 4 times that in the grocery store, and you will make a killing financially by growing this pork. I'm Rob from Dowdle Family Farms. We've been raising pastured pork now for over 5 years, and we've had everything from the American Guinea hog to the Chester White, the Hereford, the Duroc, the Hampshire, and of course the fabulous, the marvelous Mangalitsa pig. Maybe you've heard of the Mangalitsa pig, and in this video we're going to talk about its positive and its negative attributes. There are 2 huge things that I love about the Mangalitsa pig. The first is its meat quality. Forbes magazine has said that it's the Kobe beef of pork. I've never tried Kobe beef, I've never tried the Wagyu. However, I can tell you that the meat from Mangalitsas is fantastic. It has great intramuscular marbling, it has wonderful meat texture, and I do love it. I have processed our standard meat pigs, and I've processed our Mangalitsa pig crosses here, and I'm here to tell you the Mangalitsa is outstanding meat quality. The second thing that I really love about the Mangalitsa pig is its ability to forage a good portion of its diet. As you can tell, we have our Mangalitsa pigs out here on pasture. One of my goals on the farm is to help reduce our reliance on monoculture agriculture. And one of the biggest things we rely on monoculture agriculture for is for our feed for our pigs. So if we are able to grow more of our pork feed on our farm through high quality pastures and have pigs that have the genetics to put that high quality forage on as meat and fat, it is a fantastic thing, and the Mangalitsa pig does that really, really well. In fact, in the fall of the year when we have acorns and then a lot of pumpkins as well that we get, we feed very, very little feed to our Mangalitsa pigs. I mean, it is amazing how much forage they can provide on their own. The third thing that I really love about our Mangalitsa pigs is that they are wonderful mothers. They raise and wean their pigs themselves. We don't have to put a whole lot of effort into providing them housing. Now granted, we're in North Mississippi, so our winters are not that cold, but they are wonderful mothers, and that's the third thing that I really love about the Mangalitsa pigs. However, there are some really big problems with raising Mangalitsas, and you need to know about them before you consider purchasing them. The first thing about raising Mangalitsa is it takes anywhere from 15 to 20 months to get your pigs to market weight, no matter what kind of feed you feed them. They are slow growers. You can speed up the weight process, but it increases the fat. Because of that, you're going to have a lot of pigs on your farm at one time. The way that I'd planned on working around that market weight is I figured that if we could keep our pigs on pasture and if we had to feed them less commercial inputs, the amount of time that it takes to rotate 20 pigs or 150 pigs on pasture is not that big of a deal, as long as we can keep different size pigs in the same groups together. And you can do that, and we have done that together. However, what you run into with that process is that it has a couple downsides. First and foremost, you don't have a very good idea of when to predict the time that those pigs are going to be ready to process. For us on our farm, we know that the standard meat pigs, we can get to a 300 to 320 pound live weight in 6 to 7 months, depending on what age we purchase them at, and it works out really, really well for us. Mangalitsas, you don't have that kind of time frame. Some pigs may take 12 months, some pigs may take 20 months, and it's just a very different scenario that you're having to guess about. In addition to the time it takes to raise them to market, I think Mangalitsa pigs have different nutritional requirements than your standard meat pigs do. I'm not talking about just feeding them a little bit of grain in addition to their forage pasture, but I think they have different levels of amino acids like lysine that make up the protein that they get. And those are different from your standard meat pigs. I may be wrong in that. I think it works out well. However, producers just need to be careful about how they feed those pigs. I have not had the pigs long enough to sort that out yet. Third, if you're farrowing your own pigs like we are, the Mangalitsa pig is going to have a lot more cost associated with getting those litters. It doesn't matter whether you purchase the individual weaned piglets or whether you're raising them yourself. They tend to produce smaller litters, and because of that, the cost of keeping the sows and the boars are higher as well. There's also a higher labor cost involved. So whether you're purchasing the weaned piglets or if you're raising your own pigs, you're gonna have more costs associated with farrowing your piglets. One of the biggest problems with Mangalitsa pigs, though, that I've found is that their temperament. Now, some people say that they're aggressive, and I don't find them aggressive at all. However, we do hand feed our pigs, and our pigs come up to us. They tend to be more stubborn, so what that means in temperament is that once they come up to you, and if they decide they want to try something, they may try to nibble your shoe, they may try to do something, you have to be much more aggressive with the pigs themselves to keep them off of you. Perhaps the greatest problem with a Mangalitsa pig is that they could be incredibly stubborn. If they want to jump through an electric fence, they will jump through the electric fence. It doesn't matter whether it has 1,000 volts, whether it has 12,000 volts. They will take the shock knowing that they're going to get through it. We have never had this kind of a problem with any of our other commercial pigs. And in fact, in this paddock right here, I've only got 8 of the original 30 pigs that I had in this paddock because they've decided to start jumping through electric fences. We've retrained them to the electric fence. We do know how to do that, but they have just decided that they don't want to stay, and so they don't. So is the Mangalitsa pig right for you? First and foremost, let me ask, do you have good fencing? You might get some genetic stock that stays in with electric fencing that is not stubborn and they've been culled out really well. We did not in all 3 of the genetic lines that we have on our farm. The second thing I would encourage you to ask is, are you able to wait from the time you get the piglets to the time you sell them? Are you able to wait 2 years? If you're not, don't get Mangalitsa pigs. Third, are you willing to grow more forage for your Mangalitsa pigs? If you are, you might be able to reduce your feed cost if you can sort that process out really, really well. Many producers can't or don't, but if you can provide good feed for your pigs, you can probably reduce your feed costs significantly. Another thing that you really must consider is what kind of market do you have for pastured pork? I don't mean just specialty pastured pork, I mean pastured pork. Here in North Mississippi, most people consume beef. When people are willing to try purchasing a whole or a half of a pig, they're willing to give it a try. However, they're expecting the kind of meat that they're going to get from standard meat pigs. Standard looking bacon, standard looking pork chops, standard looking other stuff. They're not expecting to come back with an animal that is 60 to 70% fat by body weight. It is ridiculous to expect a consumer who's not used to purchasing a whole or a half of a pig to spend that kind of money on something that's not what they're expecting. It's not fair to the consumer. So while there is a small niche market within pastured pork production for Mangalitsa pigs, many areas of the country, I think, are going to have a hard time selling pastured pork to begin with, much less a Mangalitsa pig, which is a niche market within a niche market that you don't have a whole lot of customers for anyway. Know your market really, really well. So these are the things I would encourage you to consider. Pastured pigs might be right for you. Mangalitsa pigs might be right for you. But please, please consider all your options. I would encourage you to try some other breeds of pigs before you get Mangalitsa pigs. They are challenging to raise, but they are outstanding meat quality as well. Here on our farm, I think we're probably going to go to more standard meat pigs. We'll keep a few Mangalitsa pigs just because I love the meat quality. However, they're not going to be our farm's biggest staple. Have you tried Mangalitsa pigs or pastured pork? If you have, let me know what you think about it in the comments below. And until next time, it's Rob from Dowdle Family Farms wishing you the best. Take care. Have a great day.